So how do you know it's time to give up on the guitar? How do you know it's time to throw in the towel and say enough already? Well, the answer is never! It's never time to give up on the guitar. Look, if you love the idea of the guitar and you love music, and surely that's why you decided to start playing in the first place, then you just have physical limitations getting in the way, or maybe even some mental limitations conceptually. But if you press through and keep going, I promise you, you will get the results you're after. So this is a question that I get from students a lot. Do you think I really have what it takes? I mean, maybe I just don't have natural talent. Maybe I just wasn't born with it. I see all these other people. I see you, Eric. I see how good you are and how natural you are at it. And all I can do is laugh when I think back to when I first started. When I was 13 years old, I had zero musical ability, no natural talent. This did not come easily for me. And still to this day, there's a lot of things that don't come easy to me. But I was so stubborn and determined to be successful that quitting wasn't even an option. So as difficult as it was, I kept going. And then over time, things became natural for me. So if you watch me play and something seems natural, which it doesn't always, but if you do see me do something that looks really natural, it's because it is. It's become natural for me, and I've become musical and trained myself to be that way. Look, some people start off more musically talented than others. They have more of an affinity for it. Maybe they grew up in a household full of music, or maybe they played another instrument before, or maybe their brain is just more math-oriented. But the reality is, no matter where you're starting, anybody can become a successful guitar player. At the end of the day, it just comes down to how much time are you going to put in. Are you putting in 10 to 15 minutes a day, a couple days a week? Well, if so, yeah, you're definitely not going to see results. But if you're doing at least 20 minutes a day, 5 days a week in the beginning, you should be getting consistent results. If you're not, then that means you're not practicing correctly. Okay, and there are some strategies that we can put in place to address that. But it really doesn't require that much time to be great at guitar, but it does require consistency. So that's the first thing you got to keep in mind. Number two is it's kind of like when people join a gym and they want to get fit and they don't see results right away, right? So that's point number two. You're not always going to experience results right away. So you join a gym, you're there for a month, you're running, you're lifting, and at the end of a month, you haven't lost any weight, or you don't look any more fit, and you think, well, I guess that's it. I guess I may as well give up. But the truth is, if you look at all of the really fit people who are at the gym, what was required for them to get fit, notice they're still doing it. They continue to invest in themselves because they have to maintain that level and even to get better and better. So on the guitar, it's no different. There's not really, at least for me, there's not an end goal. It's about the process. You've got to enjoy the process so that even when you don't see the results, you're still enjoying it. Because isn't that why we started playing guitar in the first place? We want to enjoy the instrument. So for me, at this point, I'm constantly setting new goals and working towards things, but it's never so that I can be done. It's because I genuinely enjoy the time that I sit down to practice and work on my music. And if you are not enjoying your practice time, even in the beginning, then my guess is you're probably either going too fast with your practicing and you're making a lot of mistakes. So if you're making a lot of mistakes when you're trying to learn something, then yes, that is really frustrating. Or if you're trying to learn something that is way beyond what you should be doing, that's another way. So if you're feeling relaxed and you're enjoying yourself, you are practicing correctly. Now, there is one situation when you should maybe consider quitting, and that's if somebody forced you to play and you were never really into it in the first place. So you didn't really want to play music, you don't even really like music, and you don't really like the idea of the guitar, but you just did it to impress someone you know, or for that lady friend, or I don't know. I don't really know why someone would start playing guitar if they're not really into it to begin with. But most of the time, people like the idea of it, and then just as they get into it, they realize how difficult the process is. And so they're not able to enjoy it, and they set all these high expectations for themselves rather than just embracing where they are and then moving forward. So that's the very long answer to the short question of when should you quit guitar? And the answer is never. I'm Eric with Fort Worth Guitar Academy, and I'll see you at the studio.